Be prepared. This week was coded to confuse you, because if you saw what's really happening, you'd never play along. Something's off in the air, and it's not just you. This week is already starting in a strange way. The full moon just passed a few hours ago, and yet something still feels unsettled, like everything is moving forward, but something underneath doesn't sit right. And that feeling? It's not random. It's a signal, one you're meant to notice. Because even though it feels unclear, trust me, there is a reason behind it. This is the week where clarity fades, but direction still matters. The ones who trust their steps now, even blindly, are the ones who are going to land somewhere different. And there's something really strange happening this week, and almost nobody has noticed it. But once you realize what it is, you won't be able to unsee it. There's one specific pattern unfolding in the cosmos right now that nobody has noticed. I'll break it down later, so stick around. But first, there's something even more important you need to recognize. Because what if the weirdness this week isn't even yours? This week's energy is calling you forward, but not everything around you is ready to let you go. You're changing. The alignments this week are pulling parts of you forward, but not everyone around you is ready to let that version of you go. There's tension in the space around you that you can't explain. It might show up as sudden tiredness, unfocused thoughts, a strange heaviness. But the truth is, someone else is feeling your shift, and they don't know how to process it. Sometimes the mess isn't yours. It's the echo of someone losing access to the version of you they were attached to. This week is charged with distance, Mercury and the moon both hitting aphelion points. The mind and the heart drifting from the center, and that distance, it creates pressure. This is a spiritual pressure test. The universe is asking, can you keep walking even when someone is still holding on to your shadow? Because what's about to unfold in the next few days, you need to be aware of it. The energies that are coming will test the space around you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And if you're not watching closely, you might mistake someone else's fear for your own. The moon is at apogee today, pulling away from Earth just hours after the full moon climax earlier this morning. There's a strange kind of silence right now, almost like the sky is holding its breath. The full moon brought something up, something deep, maybe even something you didn't expect. And now, in the aftermath, the moon is slipping away. Literally. And metaphorically, it's leaving with baggage. You may have felt a flood of emotion in the last day or so. Maybe you cried. Maybe you felt seen or cracked open or just overwhelmed. But today, there's a sudden coolness, a strange distance, like something was said in a moment of vulnerability, and now the room feels cold. It's not just you. This happens when emotional intensity meets separation. After the purge comes the pause, and in that pause, people start to feel the emptiness. This is what we could call a spiritual echo. The event has passed, but the impact still ripples. And sometimes what you feel now is not the pain itself. It's the loss of something that was finally let go. Some people might be feeling ungrounded, nostalgic for something they can't name, or like they've forgotten who they were before that emotional flood came through. There's even a kind of strange spiritual vertigo that shows up in moments like this, a dizziness, not always physical, but soul deep. A sudden awareness that something has shifted, and you didn't realize how tightly you were holding on until now. Letting go doesn't always feel like relief. Sometimes it feels like grief for what you thought you needed. This moment is not meant to feel resolved. It's meant to feel real. And the universe is watching. What are you willing to release now that it's floating just out of reach? Because when things drift away, we get to see whether they were ever really meant to stay. And just when you think you've made sense of what's leaving, The mind starts playing tricks of its own. Someone's lying. It could even be you. April 16th is not the day for answers. It's the day for illusions that feel like answers, and that's far more dangerous. Mercury and Neptune are aligning, and when the planet of logic meets the planet of dreams, reality gets slippery. Thoughts blur with emotion, intuition becomes tinted with projection, and things that seem obvious, they're often the furthest from the truth. April 16th is a test of perception. Fail it, and you could fall into a reality that was never yours to begin with. People may think they're getting signs from the universe, but they might just be hearing their own fears echo back at them. Others might say things they don't mean, or worse, say things they believe in the moment, only to contradict themselves the next day. Not because they're lying, but because they're lost in the fog, and that fog is thick. It might make you read into someone's silence and decide it's rejection, or hear praise and think it's manipulation, or get a sudden spiritual download that feels urgent, but turns out to be your own anxiety dressed up in cosmic clothing. April 16th is the kind of day where you'll swear you know what's going on, until you realize your compass was pointing at a mirror. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to sharpen you. Because in weeks like this, the real test isn't whether you believe everything you hear, it's whether you know how to pause long enough to ask, whose voice is this, and does it even belong to me? There's something restless in the air this week, and it's not just you. On April 17th, Mercury reaches aphelion, its farthest distance from the Sun. That's two celestial bodies pulling away now, just days apart. First the Moon, now the messenger, and both are stepping back, creating a strange kind of echo chamber around us. What does that mean down here? You might feel mentally scattered, like your thoughts are running just a little too far ahead, or lagging behind the moment you're actually in. Conversations might feel slightly off. You know those moments when someone texts you just a second after you needed them to? Or when the words you wanted to say evaporate the moment you open your mouth? That's Mercury at aphelion. It's like the mind is out on a walk, but forgot to leave a note. Some insights arrive late on purpose, to see if you're still listening. This is the kind of energy where clarity wants to come through, but it's slower. It's more subtle. It asks for patience, for interpretation. Mercury here isn't loud, it's whispering from a distance, and that can be frustrating. You may feel like you're waiting for a reply, for a sign, for confirmation, and nothing is arriving on time. But that delay, it's part of the message. It's showing you how to listen without needing instant answers, how to sit with the question instead of scrambling for resolution. This week, truth travels a longer path, but when it arrives, it'll land exactly where it's meant to. And if you're someone who's been trying to make a decision lately, hold on, give it breath, because as Mercury climbs higher into the sky, something shifts. The signal gets stronger, the message gets closer, and on April 19th, it finally touches down. When Mercury rises, the universe speaks. April 19th is not just another morning, it's a celestial broadcast. On this day, Mercury reaches its highest altitude in the morning sky, its brightest, clearest moment after days of pulling away. And that means something profound for those who are paying attention. This is a delivery window, a message zone. Before you even open your eyes that day, your spirit might already know something. There could be a dream that lingers just long enough to leave a sentence echoing in your mind. A word, a number, a name. Or maybe it's the first thing you see on your phone, your clock, a headline, a random post. Don't brush it off. April 19th is a morning of mirrors. What you notice first is what your soul has been trying to say all week. Some people will feel this as a wave of clarity, like fog lifting. Others may experience it more subtly, a quiet knowing, a strange sense of peace where there was chaos before. Either way, the message won't scream, it will whisper. And only those still enough to receive it will understand its meaning. And here's the twist. This message, it won't be something entirely new. It will be something you already suspected. Something that's been trying to get through. Something you felt earlier in the week, but didn't trust yet. That's what this week has been building toward. That's why the confusion, the disconnection, the silence, because this clarity, it only lands when you've learned how to sit in the static. So set your intention the night before. Open your senses that morning, because Mercury is rising. And if you're listening, your next step is about to reveal itself. Remember when I said there's something weird happening this week that no one seems to notice, but once you see it, you can't unsee it? This is it. 3 bodies, 3 departures, 3 distances, all peaking in the same week. First, the moon begins to drift. On April 13th, it reaches its farthest point from Earth. Just days later, on April 16th, it slips even further, hitting aphelion, its most distant point from the Sun. Then, Mercury joins the pattern, pulling away to its own aphelion on April 17th. This isn't a coincidence. It's a pattern, one you weren't supposed to notice, but now you have. Something is backing away, and it's dragging your emotional clarity, your spiritual confidence, and your mental focus with it. What do you do when the 3 most emotionally, mentally, and spiritually charged bodies all pull away at once? You might feel disconnected from everything, like your heart's off in the distance, your thoughts aren't syncing, and your spirit is echoing in a too big room. This is energetic distance in motion. It's not about breakdown, it's about space. Because here's the twist. When things pull away, they create room. And in that room, you can actually hear yourself again. This week isn't about what's being removed from your life. It's about what can finally rise when all the noise steps back. So if you've been feeling empty, floating, or detached, it's not failure. It's a reset. You're in the pause between waves. A tiny thought, a weird symbol, a moment of silence. It'll hit you too hard, and it means something. The universe is whispering in strange ways this week. This is not a week of grand gestures or obvious signs. This is a week where the smallest thing might knock the wind out of you. It could be a word someone says in passing, a symbol you keep seeing but don't understand yet, a strange sense of déjà vu while scrolling your phone, a song lyric that feels like it knows something about your future, and you'll feel it, deep, disproportionate. Like, why does this tiny thing feel so big? Because it's not about the size of the moment, it's about the frequency it's carrying. Some signs are small because they're only meant for you. They wouldn't make sense to anyone else, but they're coded in your language. So don't talk yourself out of it. Don't say, "I'm overthinking," when you feel that weird spark in your chest. Don't panic if things feel too quiet this week. You'll reach out for guidance and get nothing. But this isn't abandonment, it's a test. The universe wants to know, can you keep walking when the signs stop showing? Can you trust the path when it's no longer glowing? This kind of silence builds something real. It turns intuition into faith. It forges leaders, not followers. So if you feel ghosted by your spirit team this week, smile. They haven't left. They're watching. And what you do next will echo louder than any sign ever could. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.